Batman has been noticeably absent from the Arrowverse, until now. In the first episode of Arrow's new season, we've already got a few glimpses of Bruce Wayne, and this begs the question, if Green Arrow and Batman face off, how will the two stack up against one another? Join us as we compare and contrast the histories, abilities, and possibilities of Batman and Green Arrow. In terms of the Green Arrow of the current CW show, there is an egg and chicken problem. Bruce Wayne has the most well-known origin story of any superhero other than Spider-Man's. In broad strokes, he's a playboy billionaire who was traumatized after witnessing his parents' murder as a child. This trauma pushed him to become a masked vigilante who doesn't kill. He trained for many years, learning dozens of martial arts. In the most popular depiction, the Christopher Nolan trilogy, Bruce Wayne travels the world and trains with Ra's al Ghul, returning to Gotham as Batman, ready to fight crime. Oliver Queen in the CW's Arrow is also a billionaire playboy who witnessed his father's suicide and his lover's death. He also spends years isolated far from his home, honing his skills before returning to his hometown as a costumed crime fighter. Not only do the writers of the show depart from Green Arrow's history in comics to include Ra's al Ghul, they also lean on a gritty tone in the show that is, to say the least, reminiscent of the Dark Knight trilogy. Some fans have speculated that the reason for this is that the rights to the Batman character were unavailable, and so the show's producers opted for a Batman-inflected version of Green Arrow, in the hopes of capitalizing on the Batman mania of the Dark Knight trilogy, which ended only a few months before Arrow began. Coincidence? So if the Arrow of the CW is a cheap, made-for-TV version of Bruce Wayne, if he's just a lesser Batman, then surely he'd have no chance against the Dark Knight, right? To predict the outcome of a Batman vs. Arrow prize fight in the Arrowverse, it's probably useful to break down what we know so far about the crossover possibilities. So what do we actually know about Batman's involvement in Arrow? So far, from the first episode of Arrow, there are a couple little tidbits. There's a shot of Batman's mask on a piece of wood with an arrow through the eye, a shot that is identical to the one of Deathstroke's mask that's been featured in past seasons. So far, it's not looking good for Bruce. Another Batman moment comes from Earth 2 Arrow, Adrian Chase, who explains how he knows about the parallel universes to Oliver Queen, Earth 1 Arrow. He says, "Bruce Wayne once told me that if you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth." All of the confirmed actors of Batman's past set to appear in Crisis on Infinite Earths are of advanced age. There's Kevin Conroy, who will be playing an older, bearded Bruce Wayne. He's 63 years old. Burt Ward, who played Robin in the 60s, is 74. A leaked photo of the Crisis set shows Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne on the front page of the Gotham City Gazette. He's 68. It's not ageist to suppose that Green Arrow, in the prime of his crime-fighting career, could probably outrun these retirement-age Dark Knights. But whether or not they will appear as mentors or as opponents is still yet to be seen. Batman is about as powerful as it gets for a hero without actual powers. He's a genius who has mastered 127 different martial arts and trained his body to withstand and dole out maximum pain. He's also a billionaire who has pretty much any technology imaginable at his disposal, from the batarangs on his belt to the countless planes, boats, helicopters, and cars that he's got assembled in his Batcave. He's also a meticulous planner and has files on friends and enemies alike. He knows everyone's strengths, weaknesses, and habits, and prepares for the possibility that he may one day have to fight them. Oliver Queen is similar. He's physically as tough as it gets, and obviously knows how to fight, but he doesn't have the discipline that comes from learning more than 100 different types of martial arts. On the other hand, his combat style is more intuitive, and a spontaneous decision that doesn't correspond to Batman's pre-flight calculations could catch him off guard. Green Arrow also has gadgets. The only difference between Batman's and his are that he sticks them on at the end of arrows and shoots them with a bow. Smoke bombs, regular bombs, acid, or poison-tipped, the list goes on. But take away the bow and things aren't looking too hot. Not only that, but he's also lacking in the vehicle and IQ departments. Their motivations are also worlds apart. Batman's are informed by the death of his parents, rest more on abstract crime doesn't pay morals than anything else. Green Arrows are more materially informed, especially if you consider the fact that he's based on the original hero of the working class, Robin Hood. It wasn't until the 70s that Green Arrow really came into his own as a character, after Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams gave him a makeover, visually and in his backstory. They took away his fortune and made him a champion of working people, social issues, and distribution of wealth. This puts him at odds with Wayne Enterprises' billionaire and could give him the extra push he needs to beat the Bat. So Batman could probably win in a one-on-one fight, but Green Arrow just might be able to use that chip on his shoulder, the burning hot underdog fuel, to become the people's champ. We'll just have to wait and see. So that's all for this showdown. Let us know who's your favorite, Bruce or Arrow. Is there anyone else you would like us to put head to head? Let us know down in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and like to The Binger.